What's up, everybody? Welcome to the EZPZ podcast. I am your host, Shaun. Joining me this week, Nick.
Hey, everybody.
Wake up, Nick. Dan.
What up, what up?
And very special guest host, Daniyel Turner. What's up, Daniyel?
What's up, everybody?
Episode 15, 2015. We got one of my best friends, Daniyel Turner, here. Met him through Lydia. Now he's going to be one of your guys' best friends. I'm talking to you, listeners. Not you, Nick. Not you, Dan. Let's do this. Let's dive right in. Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, I grew up here in Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm actually back this weekend for a wedding of one of my childhood friends that I grew up with. But right now, I live out in Oakland, California. I do marketing and social media for an electric scooter and bike company. So, that's what I've got going on. Majored in music business, so I know about broadcasting, I know about the back end of all this, and I'm excited to be on this today.
Yeah, for sure. And yes. I just actually learned this about you. I knew you played the piano. I knew that you were a talented musician, but I just learned this last night while we were out and about downtown that you play like a few hours a night.
Oh yeah,
piano.
I do, actually.
So you and Dan could get along real well because as you can see here in the studio, he's got a nice keyboard and some good equipment.
Hell yeah, yeah.
But you're kind of stealth mode Dan Yole to another level.
Yeah.
You don't post anything, record.
I don't post or record. It's usually just a way to come home and kind of sit down and play and relax.
No, I totally feel you on that because I think it was yesterday. I was just having a stressful day. I just played piano for like an hour. I didn't worry about making anything. I just started playing.
You don't have to, man. When you have the pressure of recording and trying to put some stuff out, it kind of it takes away from the experience.
It dilutes the purity.
It almost puts you in a box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not art, right? Like, exactly. So, Daniyel, I don't know Daniyel Turner. I don't know if you're aware of this.
Okay.
You're stealth mode Dan.
Okay.
You're Dan. You're Daniyel. I've always called him Dan.
Sounds
or we can call him Danny. I've heard Sean Grass. Shout out Shawnee G out there in LA. Sean Grass always calls him Danny, so we can do that too. But what I was gonna say is you're like on another level for stealth. But he's like not recording anything. That's so funny. Like you're recording tons of stuff, making some cool beats, tracks.
I usually half the piano stuff I write, I'm never going to do anything with, but I save it just so I can look back on it and maybe learn from it in a year or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Track your progress.
Yeah, exactly.
I should start that.
It's really helpful.
I was thinking, why don't you do that last night at all?
I don't know, because usually I'll like put on a song I know and kind of like improvise to it or play along with it, and that's what I'll do for a couple hours.
Yeah.
So it's fun to not know what you're getting into when you sit down and you just start going.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Cool.
All right, so Fire and Brimstone was what was going down on my Snapchat. I opened it, and hell spawns were falling out of your trunk in your car because you got hit.
Actually, I hit someone. Actually, I didn't hit someone. I hit two someones. I rear-ended two 16-year-old girls. Puns intended.
Wait. Oh my God. You're going to jail for that, bro. Okay, 16 plus 16 equals 32, right? So.
Right. So basically, I'm okay.
But dangerous.
Basically, school had just ended. It was a school over by 42nd, and there was two other cars involved. There was a car in front of me, and there was a car in front of them. Like, the first guy just stopped. He was by himself, probably about 30 years old. And then these girls didn't even see him stop, and they just go 35-0 into the back of his car.
Oh, dang.
Leaving me, there's almost no reaction time. I see this happening, and I hear it, and as soon as I slam on my brakes, I already hit their car. And yeah, basically they had the car in front of me had a tire hitched onto the back of their car, and it just took out the front of my car. Because you guys haven't seen it, have you?
Well, I saw the Snapchat. That's what I mean. Like, I saw Snapchats and I got your text like at the same time. I was like, oh God.
It was the tire did all the damage. Really, it wouldn't have. I might not even have taken it in if the tire wasn't on the back. So I was heated and I almost just.
So how are you getting to work, or does it run?
It runs fine actually. Yeah. It looks like it's just body work that gets done.
It looks almost exactly how my car was. I was talking to you about the accident I got into a couple years ago. Basically just the hood bent, so it looks pretty crappy, but like the radiator didn't have any damage or anything.
Yeah, same.
So I mean, it technically still runs fine. Like
the car runs.
It's all kind of cosmetic.
Yeah, I just look like So,
You look like an idiot. Like you can't drive.
Yeah, I look
Which
like I'm an
you,
idiot.
you, like, in all honesty, I'm not trying to throw you under the car, bus. But you should have been paying attention to the vehicles in front of you, not just 16-year-olds.
Oh yeah, but I wasn't even on my phone. I was.
I know. You should have been paying attention.
I was. See, here's what I'll get to, is what pisses me off the most about it, is they literally went like 30 miles an hour to 0 by hitting a car. For me to avoid that, I was supposed to go 30, 35 to 0 without hitting a car.
Right. I know, so you're not at fault at all.
Yeah, I know, but it's one of those deals, and I talked to the lady, and it was one of the lady who owned the car of the two girls, and she wasn't going to claim responsibility, and I was like, you bitch.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
that's really messed up.
Yeah, because the girls were the ones that caused it.
But they're going to say that the guy...
Except I have their address and all their information. So
what did the cop say?
Oh yeah, it was really funny because I actually kind of knew the cop from my work because we get a lot of incidents, and he recognized me instantly. So he asked me what happened first, which I was like, "Yes, thank you,
yes,
thank you."
One of the stealth mode benefits of working at Come and Go because you literally get 0.
Yeah.
Except actually, you get to gain weight. That's pretty much what you get because that's all you can eat is like greasy food.
He as soon as I told the story, I mean everyone was basically in agreement subconsciously that the girls caused the accident, and he just turns around to the girl who was driving, and he's just like, "So why do you hit him?" And she just stopped, and she like started stuttering, and she didn't know what to say.
I would have cried.
You bitch, fuck you, fuck you,
Damn,
bitch.
tone it down, dude. She's 16. I was so stupid when I was 16.
Did your airbags deploy?
No, they didn't.
Was it like a...
Dan, you're still stupid. You're 21.
Gosh.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I know, like, I understand she made a huge mistake, but at least you can get to work and still.
Right.
It's been a crazy, like, Maddie Quick got in an accident 2 days ago, too. It's just been like...
I got in an accident January, like, 6th.
Jeez.
Yeah. No, Tay was driving my car, and she crashed it on the interstate.
What's going on?
This winter, I don't know what was...
Well, it's just, it was my fault when I got in an accident. I slid on black ice when I was going 10 miles an hour. But the problem with it is like, the biggest thing is, like, they need to take responsibility for this. First of all, it is obviously their fault.
Right.
Second of all, it's going to skyrocket your insurance. My insurance was $55, $60. Well, just hear me out. And now it's $120.
Jeez.
It doubled. And I have a 12-year-old car.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a platinum member of Progressive.
Dude, I have AAA. Like, I'm an 85-year-old member. Like, I've got that status. I've been around the block.
Well, I've had
I remember the Model T kind of.
I've had 2 accidents with this car now, and insurance hasn't changed.
Yeah, same with Geico.
Have they been both yours?
One was mine 3 years ago.
So you're 21 and you've had 3 accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a bad driver.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just kidding. You do a lot of driving. Like, you do, like, that's when you're way, like, to relax.
I mean, the first 2 accidents were on... Well, one of them wasn't my fault because I wasn't driving. But they were on road trips, and both of them were in the
Speaking
snow.
of road trips...
This is actually the first accident I've gotten into while I'm driving while it hasn't been snowy outside.
Right.
Because I feel like that's 90% of accidents.
Speaking of road trips,
by the way.
Speaking of road trips, before we dive into your road trip, that's going to be kind of fun-filled and a throwback to some of our listeners that, heard the episode with Ian, one of our other guests. Nick and I went to Chicago to see Armor for Sleep on their 10-year anniversary tour of What to Do When You Are Dead. By the time you're listening to this episode, you should be able to check out our recap on the way home that we just did. It wasn't like anything special, but it was a lot of fun. You get to hear like a mishap I made when we went to the wrong venue. So
that was interesting, yeah.
But it all worked out. It all worked out.
Okay, where was it at?
Well, tune into that special episode.
No, where was it actually?
It was at the Metro, and I thought it was at House of Blues. So we went to like the
right
financial
river,
district.
So you went to
which is beautiful.
That's not
I've
even
never
close
seen
to
that side of
Chicago.
Chicago.
It's nice down there.
So you went to school in Chicago, right?
I did.
So
I grew up down by the financial district. Well, not grew up, but like my college was right in the south, right downtown. It was crazy.
Amazing.
Like everyone else had campuses to have college experiences on, like a quad and like this and that. But like I stepped out and was in Chicago downtown.
See,
that's rad.
It was really cool for
college?
You had to grow up quick.
Columbia College, Chicago is an art school, like right down.
Okay, my sister went to Moody Bible Institute, which is right downtown as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
man.
she went there for 4 years. So she was doing the same stuff.
Wow, I didn't know your sister got a degree.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean, I just thought she was a badass photographer.
Oh, no, she has,
I didn't know she actually.
She's already
studied
locked
it.
in a degree, and
That's
she's
cool.
still just killing it.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
know
cool.
what she like felt about being downtown versus on a campus? for
Did she have like any?
I haven't asked her specifically. And she never went to anywhere besides Moody, so I don't think she'd have much to compare it to. But I know she really liked it there.
It was good, man.
Yeah, we were walking, like, we found this awesome Chicago pizza place, which actually, I don't know if, I think people are gonna, like, hear us say that we really like Dough Brothers, and, like, you remember that at all? $4 a slice, really good. It's like a little chain.
It was good.
It was really good. It was like the best
Dough
pizza I've had in a while.
Yeah,
The deep dish pizza, Giordano's. God.
I love Giordano.
I know, this is the best.
Oh, yeah. It's
I didn't mean that's a bad thing. No, Giordano's pizza is the shit.
It's the best pizza I've ever had, probably.
So good.
Illuminati's is better.
Illuminati, or I like to call it Illuminati's because I'm part of that subsect of amazing lizard people. But I like that. I wanted to eat that place multiple times, but when we did, it was like huge wait when I was in town for that.
I like it better than Giordano.
Yeah, well, okay, so I want to go eat some pizza now, so let's stop the show. No, let's get into Dan. You also took a road trip here recently.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I
Ian,
just briefly went to Iowa City. But while we're talking about pizza, please tell me all you guys have gone to Mesa Pizza
No.
in Iowa City.
I don't like Iowa City. I don't
You guys
like.
have never gone to Mesa Pizza.
I don't like Iowa City.
Their
It's
slices
gross.
are so good.
It's just a gross area.
But yeah, okay, I made the mistake. I'll just give you some of the highlights, tidbits. Not highlights really, but you get there and I didn't realize it was homecoming weekend. So I get there literally an hour before the parade starts, and I know two people. Well, I know a lot of people there, but the two people I was visiting are right by campus, which is right by the parade. So it took me about an hour to get from the interstate. It should be only like a 5-minute drive. It took me an hour from the interstate to get close to their houses, and at that point I just gave up. So that was a nightmare. But then, if you guys know the band CHVRCHES.
Yeah, dude, they're blowing up.
Yeah, they had a free show.
Right.
So,
you went to that?
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I only went to the first half, actually, just because...
I heard they killed it.
Yeah, it's not really my jam.
Right.
But it was fun, but I didn't really like the crowd we were by, so I just kind of got Mesa Pizza instead.
But either way, you saw a little bit of it. I hear they're an awesome performing band.
Yeah. And I think that's really all the activities I did there worth mentioning, besides just I love Iowa City in the fall.
Yeah.
There's something about it, I don't know.
I don't dislike Iowa. I went there for a semester and just problems, like personal problems, problems with my roommates, like this, that, the other happened. It's just, I have like a sour taste in my mouth.
Oh, yeah. See,
and I got addicted to League of Legends, and I had to be on methadone for it and everything. No. Well, the equivalent for video games.
I will say...
I think it's called a treadmill and looking at nudie megs. So, like, start wanting to go chase girls again or something. I don't know.
I will say that I love Iowa City, but I love the most on Sundays and during the summer because there's no one out.
Yeah.
Because I can't deal with Iowa City crowds.
I remember...
It's just a whole nother level of drunk.
Yeah, I mean, it really is.
And stupid.
Do you have any experiences in Iowa City, Dan?
Not any that I can recall, though. Only, like, one.
He was
I
too
guess.
drunk.
The Roosevelt kids were awesome. None of them, like... All of them, none of them had any connections to Iowa City, which I appreciate. Because I just, like I said, it's just not for me. The Blue Moose, I've seen some great shows there, but
right.
The only one you can recall, sorry.
It's just going down there to drink with Becca's sister, the bride of this weekend.
Okay.
She would invite us down or up. Where's
East, so to the right.
Over
to
there.
the right, to the right.
Yeah, she
everything
invited us
you
over
want
there.
to drink is to the right.
Mm-hmm. And it was.
I just Yancey'd hard. That's Bay. What about you, Nick? Have you ever seen any good shows? Oh, first time we ever met, or second-ish. We went and saw Every Time I Died, Hatebreed at the Blue Moose in Iowa City.
Did you guys go see The Chariot in Iowa City?
Oh, yeah. With Silverstein, Pierce the Veil, and Miss May I.
This would have been before we met, so we probably brushed shoulders.
It was January 14th, 2011, because it was on my mom's birthday.
Yeah, no, it was super legit because that show specifically...
one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Oh my god, chills. But Liz was actually doing photos or something for it. She actually hooked me up with free tickets. Nice. It was like on my birthday week. It was on my birthday week.
Yeah.
One of the best
January
birthday
14th.
presents.
That's legit.
Very cool.
Gotten.
Yeah, the only time I've ever seen The Chariot was here in Des Moines.
And you didn't really care for them, right?
I didn't really know them very much. I mean, their stage presence was insane, obviously. Like that's
insane presence, but they couldn't, like... make a note. Like, like that's their thing. But hey, Josh Scoggin, he's a monster. He's like literally renowned as one of the best hardcore vocalists by a lot of other hardcore vocalists or like rough vocalists.
Right.
Yeah, and they're just insane.
What do you guys think about 68? His new band. Well, it's
I do
not
like
super new. Dude, I love that album. In Humor and Sadness that came out. Anyway. It's a good hardcore album. It's just two people that made it too. Or I believe he made it. He just locked himself in a room after the Chariot broke up, which they announced their breakup on my birthday. That's sad.
So many birthdays.
Right.
Coincidence with the Chariot.
Yeah. There is. That's weird. There's probably some Illuminati to that or something.
Daniel, what's your birthday?
7/21/1991, July 21st.
Cool.
What's your birthday?
March 27th.
3/27.
Yeah, you got it.
Dude, I have it. I have birthdays notes. You want to see how crazy I am? I got birthday
you got
notes
for everything.
Did you add me to the notes?
No.
Yeah, you just heard it.
I've really thought about doing that.
I know I emailed you or texted you.
About birthdays, I've really thought because I honestly don't have that many people I'm friends with. But it's enough.
You don't have
like,
a Facebook.
Right? Okay, yeah, I don't have a Facebook.
Facebook is a good help.
Yeah, for birthdays.
help.
But I really thought about just like writing down 10 people besides my family and their birthdays.
I put it in my calendar on my phone, so it's just a reoccurring thing every year. It gives me a reminder, like, it's this person's birthday.
One thing I do hate about Facebook is the birthday function. Because people who've never talked to you in a year will say happy birthday.
But it's still
I
a
feel
nice
like it's
gesture.
so much more personal if you just send them a text message or something.
If I see it's someone's birthday on Facebook, I'll grab my phone and see if they're in my contacts before I hit them up.
Oh,
nice.
That's legit.
Yeah.
They're not, then I won't say it.
Well, the thing is, like, it's just a nice gesture. I've really, really enjoyed, like, giving people nice cards, like, for their birthday. I've done it to a few people. I mean, I just started, like, in the summer, really. And I think I like to go get the Papyrus or Papyrus, whatever that brand is, like, the really nice, like, $6-7 cards. I sound like an old-ass man now, but it's, like, I spend 10 to 15 minutes just looking for the right card.
Right.
And it's just, yeah, I mean...
No, I will second that from a friend. I'm not, like, it's cool getting gifts, but I'm not a huge gift-getting person. Like, I would almost rather get a card sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially one that's, like, personal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I actually wrote, speaking of cards, I actually wrote, my mom's been sick for, like, a week or two, so I wrote her a card yesterday.
Get well kind of thing, or?
Say what? Yeah, just like a get well card. But cards are legit, and
Yeah.
I feel like more people should do them for their birthday, because I feel like a lot of people, they're like, oh, I know I'm really well, I'll just get something they're really going to like.
Yeah.
I feel like some people should just write on a card.
Yeah,
It's
my
more
sister's
personal.
birthday is tomorrow, Monday, and yeah, so I sent a like care package to her.
Nice.
She's out in college.
What do you guys think about cards in general? I feel like I always keep my cards. And
I
feel
keep-
bad.
oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
I
I'm
can't
never,
toss that.
I
Yeah,
feel
it's
bad.
like-
I have like a box just full.
My dad does that, and it just like, but he's like really declutter. He doesn't like any clutter, any keep.
same.
He doesn't keep keepsakes at all. He just gives it to us to keep, even if it's his.
Right.
Like we'll get him a card. He'll open it. And he'll be like, "Oh, that's nice. I appreciate that." You can tell he really does. But then he'll just hand it back to us to hold on to it.
Put it in the box with the others.
You guys like the more older I get, the more I see of myself in him.
Yeah.
Or him and me, I should say, because like he does like these weird things. Like this note taking is from him. Like he takes like crazy amounts of notes, and he always has that like in the back of his head. It's just crazy.
Oh, yeah. Note taking is so important.
It really
to clear
is.
your mind.
That is like my favorite thing I learned in elementary and middle school is how to be a good note taker. And I feel like I am. I mean, look at.
Oh yeah, no, you are. For
Yeah.
How do you structure your note? Do you structure them, or do you just? Because I do a dash column, and on one side I'll have what people are saying, and
I
on the
tab
other
like a
column
mother
I have-
effer, dude.
yeah.
I'm tabbing like on every like if it's a tangent or if it's like only relating and not directly correlating with the thing or whatever parallel with the same idea, I'm tabbing it. But as far as like my notes on my phone that I keep on Evernote, shout out to that app. It's awesome. I don't know. I mean, I structure it. I don't even want to talk about what's on there. It's just crazy.
You could have a whole podcast just explaining these notes, and they go back for
Note-taking.
years.
Yeah, 5
Special
years.
episode 4 will just be about how to
I've
take notes.
tracked all
Right, hey,
the
we can
concerts
do it.
and albums that came out that I actually cared about for like the last 4 or 5 years. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Oh, here it is. The Chariot, 1/14/2011. Miss May I, Pierceville, Iowa City, Silverstein.
That's fun.
I saw Circus Survive in Des Moines just a week later, or 6 days later. Yeah.
Damn.
Nice.
Some
See,
people
I
have
wish I
mental-
kept track of everything. I've thought about writing every day what I did in a day.
Yeah.
But I wish I had started 5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I do.
I mean, I'm sure in 5 years I'll wish I had started today.
Yeah.
So just do it.
Just to like reminisce, just to see how far you've gotten, just to see when you struggled, when you had a good time. Whenever you need to pull it out, you can. I've really thought about just quick. I went to work. I hated everyone.
Yeah.
Dude,
that was my day.
I started doing that way long ago when I was like 5. I just liked having a nice, clean, new memo pad or like notebook, and I journaled. I remember I have like these awesome ones like back when I was like super like kid love, whatever, puppy love with this. And when I was 9 years old and we played snowball fights, I drew a picture horribly because I'm not an artist, but I drew like stick figures throwing snowballs, and it was like me throwing one at the kid that liked the girl I liked like back in the day or whatever.
Awesome. That's
Yeah. So I don't really do that much anymore that way, obviously, because that's a little juvenile in some ways. But instead, I just track data like of everything. It's a little bit weird.
It's useful.
But it's good. It's good to learn from. Like, you were talking to me when I started the EZPZ about you need to track everything you do. You were showing me some cool tools, and you're one of the reasons why we use like Google Docs. Like it's so obvious. Like
it's
but
awesome.
it is awesome. Yeah, we can all connect.
You gotta be accountable for what you're doing, and like if the point ever comes where you have to show someone that you're successful, you have to be able to tell them why and have numbers behind it.
Right.
That's the biggest thing I'm learning, like in corporate right now. It's just how you have to back everything up. With
Your word isn't everything. Your word isn't gold or whatever.
I just have a question. What do you define success as?
Oh, that's a good one.
In terms of music or art?
Being able to have influence, I guess, with what you're doing and not have it shift to have that influence is what I think success like music and art is. So being able to reach the people you want to reach and not have to really change up what you're doing to
So keep the art pure. Don't dilute it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like a 5-year throwback. It was a Spin magazine, I want to say. I'm sure you can find the articles online. But they asked a bunch of different artists what they thought success was. It was a really good read. You guys should read it.
Spin's awesome.
Yeah, this was probably 5 years ago. I know Bon Iver was one of the artists. And then,
Bon Iver?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Bon
either, but
Iver.
Is it how you pronounce it? I've heard people say Bon Iver. I've literally.
Bon Iver.
Okay.
That's phonetically.
Very cool.
That's phonetically.
So, yeah, but no, it's that artist. Yeah. Yep, it's him. And yeah, no, it's a really good read, but I think that's interesting. And
I think
seeing what you
Bon
think
Iver
success is.
sounds so much cooler. Now I'm like want to actually.
You don't sound like some honky-tonky white person. Bon Iver.
Yeah, listen to that Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh my God.
let's just go around. What do you guys think
Man, I don't-
success is?
Okay.
Or Nick, as an artist, what would you define being successful as?
I kind of like what he said because I don't. Really
Yeah, I
know
mean,
off
he
the
nailed
top
it
of
out of
my
the park.
head. But yeah, I mean that is legit being able to like influence people with your work. Whereas like right now, from my standpoint, I'm heavily influenced by a lot of other artists, and that is like what feeds me to do stuff. So like when I can get to the point where I'm doing stuff that is influencing others, I think that sounds successful to me.
Also, what about the difference between? I'm just gonna dive right in. What do you guys think about the difference between being successful in your own mind versus what people think of you? Because I feel like your answers were almost other people thinking of you as successful. Like, have you guys ever gotten to a point where you're like, I'm a successful artist?
That is kind of, I think, necessary though, because I mean, without other people to kind of like give you that justification, like you're doing well, how do you really know? Like you can say you're doing well, but I think other people, telling you or like being influenced by yourself is kind of what would.
I liked what you said, like about casting like influence out, like or what? How do you put it exactly?
I said being able to influence people,
Yeah.
but not have to change what you're doing to get there,
Right.
or
Right.
to maintain that.
I like that
influence.
idea.
Yeah, that makes
Casting out like a wide net of influence into a sea of like fish, but not trapping those fish and having them like
Exactly.
being able to do the same thing. Like people growing from your art. Like I don't know. That's like how I see success. And also, what I'm really starting to learn I'm so close to getting this 4-year degree, doing what I like with media, like kind of what you do, really, like social media. I like to create content of any sort, so that's what I'm doing at the Des Moines Social Club. But what I see as success as I'm getting older, like I was saying, is just doing what you like. Wake up and truly are doing what you love, like truly 100%, and money is an issue. Like, of course, I mean, we live in the United States of America, a capitalist society, but I don't know. Like, there's this lady at work, this is a kind of a weird example, I guess, but she was talking to me the other day about how she was, like, knitting in, like, the break room for lunch, and, like, she was like, oh, I put these on Etsy, or, like, I put these on, like, whatever, like, all these, like, things she knits. So I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. Like, why didn't you go into, like, that? Why didn't you just, like, do something like that? Like, sew.
Yeah.
She has, like, a nice sewing machine at home. She said she got it for, like, $2,000. Like, it's a really nice one.
Damn.
And she said
Like
she
an
loves...
investment.
Yeah, like, this older woman, she's, like, you know, about to retire. She's pushing 60. And she went her whole life doing, like, a job she didn't really like phlebotomy or, like...
Right.
Just something like that pays the bills, dollars per hour, dollars and cents. And she went her whole life not doing what she actually loves. Like, holy crap, I don't want to ever live that life. Like, I'm so glad I'm almost there. I'm on the cusp. It's basically, you need to start doing crap, like, to work towards your dream right now. Like,
And having, I would say, the most important part of it, besides putting in work every day, is just having a plan and sticking with it.
Yeah, for sure.
make incremental gains. Don't worry about the big picture right away. You want to climb each rung of the ladder one at a time. You're not shooting up the ladder, you know? That's a big, like,
Exactly.
that's something I'm learning with this Tim Ferriss project I'm doing, the 4-Hour Body and the 4-Hour Work Week. He's amazing writer when it comes to just being efficient and, not worrying about the big gains. Like, just make a small goal. Like, if you have 100 pounds to lose 10%. Just lose 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And then shoot for that for whatever.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Do you guys, what are your opinions on talking about your plans? Do you like talking about your plans? I find when I talk about something I want to do, it kind of keeps me hindered from doing it.
No, I actually feel the exact opposite. What I find myself doing is I'll tell somebody what I'm going to do or going to accomplish or going to, like, you know, finish or whatever. And so that kind of keeps me checked. Like, if I don't, that person can come, like, in their head, they will be like, oh, well, he didn't actually follow through with his word. He's not a man of his word, even if it's just like something that affects me.
Right.
So that's how I see myself doing all the time. I'll tell somebody, well, I'm going to do this. Like I said, I'm going to dive right in real quick. Sorry, Dan, 1 second.
All right.
I said, I'm going to see my friends tonight, meaning yesterday, Saturday, October 17th, before... I'm going to see them. Like, they're in town, you're in town from San Francisco, and so that kept me in check. Like, I really woke up and I just didn't want to go out. But I said I was going out, and I obviously want to see you guys, but it would have sucked because I had to work at 4 a.m. today. I literally have been up for 26 hours.
Yeah.
So if I'm running in circles, listeners, that's why. I took a 3-hour nap, but it is not helping.
I will say I'm almost exactly the same way in terms of doing things with friends or making music or whatever it is, but I find myself, it only really relates to when I tell a friend, like a close friend, because I would say I'm a man of my word and I want to hold myself accountable, especially to a friend.
Right.
So if I tell my friend I'm going to make some crazy music in the next couple days and it's going to just blow your mind, I'm going to hold myself, and I'm not going to really sleep until I know I got it down.
You're going to give up every other, like, pleasure that you have.
Yes, because I want to just keep my word.
Yeah, that's so important. Even though, like, you know, it doesn't always work out. But it doesn't. Like,
no, it doesn't.
We've canceled the podcast a couple times because it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a small example, but...
Well, like, I'm writing with one of my friends, and we've started to write, like, a pilot about something we want to do. But the more we talk about it, and, like, we just stay in a perpetual state of talking about it sometimes, which is why sometimes I don't like to...
You got to carve out that piece of the pie. You got to carve out some time with Father Time, you know? You got to, like, you have to sit down and do it. But that's, like, a different angle.
Right.
I kind of understand what you're saying. Is the friend Shaun?
No.
Dang. Is it Monte Forces on Snapchat?
It's not him either.
Brendan?
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
Brendan.
So...
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. That's kind of happened a lot with me. I mean, Nick and I, just a few months ago, were talking about this. We were talking about this, like, cool project that I kind of came up with, the little Calvin and Hobbes-esque thing.
Right.
Where he would do the illustrations and I would do, like, the storyboard, and it would just be, like, kind of about my childhood stories about, like, fighting, or, like, I don't know. Kind of like Calvin and Hobbes, you know? Like, they do a really good job of, like, making...
dark undertones.
Yeah, and Calvin's dealing with, like, adult situations and, like, but it's like metaphorical.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where as a kid, you don't see any of this. You just read it for what it is. And you get a little bit older, and then you see a little bit more. And then you're our age, and you really see the bigger picture.
It's mind-blowing some of the stuff that's, like, they talk about, the topics they, like, get into. But I was going to say, we're recording now. This is going to go live. This is going to the internet. You mentioned something about a pilot. Didn't give too many details, but it's out there. Yeah. We mentioned this. It's out there now.
Yeah, bringing it back.
We have to
follow through.
Accountable.
And I will say the biggest thing about this for me, about telling people, is since day one, I've told people that I'll start putting up my work online in December or January of this year.
Yeah, you gave yourself a date.
If I haven't been telling everybody ever that was going to happen.
That's so true.
I would be like, no, I need like 6 more months, because honestly, in 6 more months, my work will sound so much better. But you almost need to stay, at least for me, I need to stay uncomfortable.
That's very
sometimes.
true.
Yeah.
And it forces you to just push yourself, even if you're like, one more week.
If you're unfamiliar with what he's talking about, is that before even we started recording the show, he's been making music for over a year now.
It's been about 2 years.
Yeah, and he hasn't released anything on SoundCloud, kind of like how you don't even record. But he hasn't released anything at all, and he's been saying on the show, he's been saying to his friends, he's going to release December, January. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a good example.
It's really, and everyone, and it's one of those things is I have to, because if I don't, I'm just going to look like an idiot that's just talking out of my ass. And then no one's going to believe anything I'm going to say after that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those good things where I do need pressure, external pressure, at least from friends.
Right. And I guarantee you, like, from any, like, interviews I've read with DJs and stuff, like, they don't really like the first things they put out anyway. Like, it's not their best work, but they just progress. You've been progressing over these last 2 years. You're only going to get better. So, I mean, it's kind of your jumping off point.
Totally.
All right, Shaun, we just watched the video. What did we watch?
I'm passing the ball along. I'm not going to talk about this. Okay, Nick, what did we watch just now? Let's see you explain.
What was his name? Slim Jesus?
Slim Jesus. It sounds like a new sub they're having in Jimmy John's or something.
Yeah, and they have like Slim Jim
on the Slim menu. There's like the number 7, which is the Jesus.
Oh my god!
And it's just fucking pasty white skinny ass clown.
Okay, so explain what we did see for listeners playing at home for Slim Jesus. No one's explaining.
What does he do? Is he?
He looks like he's 12. He's rapping about the trap life when he probably lives in like Wisconsin or something.
I think
I forget where he's from, but yeah.
It's like Indiana, I think.
Okay. Is he
the hard streets.
I honestly don't know anything about this kid, so I'm just going off of what I've.
But he's a rapper,
watched.
Right?
He's a rapper. I just like rap that doesn't actually like talk about anything, because I've heard that song 18,000 times.
Yeah, so he's from Hamilton, Ohio.
The hard streets of Hamilton, Ohio.
So what does he talk about? He just talks about gang banging. He talks about effing other men's bitches.
Anything that other rappers have already done. Bitches, codeine.
He had auto-tune.
Girls, auto-tune. It's all been done before.
So,
I mean, I do enjoy like a fun beat or like a dumb song that I can just turn up to sometimes, but I just decent. Not really.
See, what I wanted to kind of get out of this is Stitches at first we were like, this guy's a joke, right? He's not going to go anywhere. And now it seems like he's
touring with Insane Clown Posse and coming to Seven Flags here in November.
Yes, he's actually making money now somehow.
Well, he was making money so much before, don't you know?
Well, yes, but in the music industry. And now this Slim Jesus is almost doing the same thing. He just had a show with Chief Keef.
Really?
Yes.
12 million views for his number 1 song. What's it called?
And it's one of those things
Real
where now
time.
he's playing shows and people are actually going to his shows.
Wow.
And I think, I don't know, I feel like a year or two ago, some clown like this would come out and he'd be a one-hit wonder and nothing would happen. But now we have Stitches and him. Right. They make like a one-hit wonder thing.
It's trending.
And then they actually can gain momentum off of that.
For how young he is, I do think the video was produced well. I do think it was edited well. It has
the beats were kind of fun.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You did like some of the beats?
Yeah, those are fun. How old is this kid?
He's like 18, I think. But he's been doing this for a couple years.
I don't know.
Let's verify that.
So,
When he was out of the room, he was just like, I fuck your bitch.
Yeah. So you're predicting that he's going to
He turned 18
do well?
earlier this year. He just turned 18.
He should collab with Stitches.
He used to be called Lil Mouse.
Lil Mouse?
I think part of his downfall, besides everything about him, is his name.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, I don't get it. He can't even grow facial hair yet.
I just can't. Because isn't he playing off like Slim Shady?
Well,
I
of
would
course.
assume
He's a
so, yeah.
slim.
Because he looks, and I feel like that is just tacky almost. Not to say this kid's not tacky and everything that's wrong with the music industry, but
maybe if he was a Christian rapper.
He's received.
But he's talking about like, I'll fuck your bitch, Slim Jesus. Like what?
So he's well received then? Like people turn out.
I mean,
Well,
sounds like it.
He
Yeah,
had 45,000
well.
thumbs down to like 90,000 thumbs up. So
he's been getting a lot of flack from other
I first heard about
rappers
him.
in the drill scene because that's what he's trying to do.
He's trying to do drill rap. Is that what's
drill
called?
music? Yeah.
Okay. Is that where you just talk about like being super thug and like being
I mean,
so
to a white person,
hard?
yes, basically that's
Oh,
what they do.
does it
Similar-
pertain to
it's
white
like trap
rappers?
rap.
Well, it started in Chicago, didn't it? Drill music, drill scene.
Chicago with like Twista and Lil Bibby is what it says over here. I think he received cosigns from Chicago natives Lil Bibby and Twista and Diplo.
Slim
Whoa.
Jesus did.
Interesting.
That's what it says. He received cosigns from Chicago natives Lil Bibby and Twista as well as Diplo and among others.
Can we talk about the cosign for a second though? Like that's huge these days. Like to your point, being able to play a show and open for someone and take that momentum. But like for Drake, for example, he's brought on like Party Next Door,
Right.
And
What does cosign exactly mean?
like either sometimes like with what's his name right now?
Future?
No, I love McConan.
Oh,
yeah,
McConan,
yeah.
yeah.
What happened was Drake just sent him an email and he recorded a verse over one of his songs.
Right,
Like, here you
I
go.
remember
You
that.
can use this.
And then he's playing the Pitchfork
Yeah.
Music Festival this year.
The cosign
Right.
is huge right now,
Okay,
and I don't know,
that's great.
like, that's a weird thing that's kind of new in the industry. Like, usually back in the music business, you'd like either put together a really nice package and then put that out there, or you'd get there by chance. But now there's like this third way you can get there is if someone says
Someone else.
Someone gives you that push,
Yeah.
that bump.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So I guess he's received it from some people that we like. I know you like Diplo, Dan.
Yeah, I really like his Express Yourself EP.
Okay, Daniel.
Sorry, no, I really do like that EP. And then
Either
he puts
way,
on a good live show.
As long as he doesn't hurt anybody and whatever, do your thing. Okay, yeah, whatever. But
Right.
also, I just don't like his music is misogynistic and he's like stupid. He's like, I hate it. It's like, and also the first time I heard about this guy was actually that he got murdered. It was like an Onion article, but it was like a fake article, like a tabloid.
Yeah, the
website.
Onion always just makes fake articles and all that.
Well, it's like that kind of same thing, and like he got murdered like by a gang, and like it was people on Twitter were like believing it. I was actually on Twitter like searching to see if people were like, putting a stop to these rumors.
That's hilarious. Have you ever followed anyone that would share an Onion article on Facebook and they think it's dead serious? It's hilarious because I'm like, do you not know what the Onion is? And people are like, oh my god, did you see that this happened? Like, I can't believe it. And you shared an Onion article. Like, what? No.
Dan, you can't relate because you're on Facebook, but this is really true. It happened.
Very true.
Okay.
I had Facebook for like 3-4 years.
Okay. What about you, Daniel? Have you ever seen somebody do that?
Yeah, a lot of the
hilarious.
time I think what happens is they don't even click the article, they see the headline.
Yeah,
they don't even realize.
see the Onion is down at the bottom
Right.
of it, and they're like, this happened, what? Share, and they hit it.
no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even read articles.
Yeah,
like,
just the headline.
But yeah, just the headline. They're like, oh, this is
Because
something that I
Twitter,
would
man.
share.
do you think it's because Twitter, or do you think it's
I think
that's
that
helping?
influences it. That's how we're starting to like take in information. It's just in these short little blips, and people.
The headline,
Yeah.
the slug, and the byline.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't like him, and I don't like what he's rapping about. Like, listen to a good rapper. Like, legit, there's a lot out there.
Oh, yeah.
Kendrick Lamar is
I like the
top
content.
Right now.
I mean, I'm picky about it. I need a mix of both. I need good beats and I need good like lyrics and like content.
He also his flow is broken. His flow is very broken. Like his I'm down. You meet me on Franklin, corner of Franklin. Like, he doesn't have a flow. Like, you know, Drake's flow is very, very intricate, very strong. So.
Well, there's that weird, like, rap flow coming on these days where it's, like, just yelling, like, I don't know.
Oh, there's this hilarious video that somebody... it was like this... Oh, my friend Chad, his brother Chris tagged him, and it was, like, on Facebook. It was just, like, this guy... You couldn't understand what he was saying. It was just, like... It was
So
like...
Fetty Wap.
Oh, come on, 17, sorry. Yeah, baby. No, I love Fetty Wap. Let's talk about that, yo. That album's still on rotation in my car.
I haven't gotten into it yet.
Dude,
But
My Way, I love My Way again. Booming. That's a really good track. It's like a heavier drill team time rapping.
albums that came out, what I've been playing this week. Bryson Tiller's Trap Soul. Have you heard of this?
No.
You brought up Drake and Party Next Door. I forget if
So
he
he got
signed to
co-signed.
Drake. I think I got a cosign or something. But yeah, his debut album just came out about a week or two ago, and I
You've been
listened to
hyping
it.
this for a couple episodes.
Yeah, I listened to it all the way to Iowa City last weekend, and then part of the way back. And after a couple listens, I was really disappointed because it kind of sounds like the same song over again. It's a song that I really like.
Dan, I don't think you've ever not been disappointed this year with music. It's making me sad. Maybe Sam Gellatry? What else?
If you're reading this, it's too late.
Okay, true.
There's a song
You like Big Sean.
We should still do. We guys should do a top 10 list. Are we? Did we plan on doing that?
Heck yeah! But that's a couple months in the future. But yeah, definitely doing a top 10.
I would say from rappers and bands, I haven't really been too happy this year. But like producers have put out multiple EPs and albums that I've really liked.
So you're a little bit disappointed with Bryson Tiller, but you did like Waves.
Yes, I did. Well, I did like Bryson Tiller's album, but I was disappointed by it. I was hoping it'd be like an 8 out of 10 album. I would give it a solid 6
give some reasons.
out of 10. Like I said, he does this like R&B rap thing, and all the beats kind of just drone on together. There's a couple that stand out. I want to say one of them is Rainbow.
I'd have to give it another listen to figure that out. But when I first heard it, it sounded cool. I've been getting.
Are you talking about Waves?
No, I'm talking about Bryson Tiller.
Oh, you listened to it?
I've
okay.
been getting into a lot more like R&B stuff, like the internet. I don't know if you're familiar with the internet at all. I've been getting into them a lot lately. I don't know, and just because of like listening to The Weeknd, I've been listening to a lot more like R&B stuff lately.
Yeah, but give it a listen for sure. I just listened to it on Spotify.
Did you come into The Weeknd at Somerset when he played? Is that what really got you guys excited about The Weeknd?
I mean, I've been hearing... I love Crew Love by Drake, and he featured on that like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And I love that. So I kept seeing his name pop up with Kanye West. Like, he pretty much got cosigns from the biggest people you can get cosigns from, Drake and all them. So I didn't listen to anything of his, but I did like that song. I like his singing. I like his range. It's unbelievable. It's like close to what? Michael Jackson? I mean, that's what he gets compared to a lot.
It's nuts.
So yeah, we saw him at Somerset, and he was just awesome. Just killed it.
That was a great set.
Oh, man.
But I think Dan is the one that got me like interested.
I was his original fan back in 2012 when I saw him.
Well, what was it?
But really though,
Trilogy or whatever. Is that
right when Trilogy came out,
When Crew Love came out.
Right when Trilogy came out, and he still wasn't that big.
So good.
He still was like almost headlining.
Yeah.
When I saw him in 2012 at Lollapalooza, like he was already huge right when he started.
Yeah, for sure.
Basically.
Yeah.
And now he's just
amazing.
ridiculous.
What about you, Daniel? Did you get in?
What?
When did you get into The Weeknd? Before he blew up, or back in the day?
Like around 2012,
Okay.
he did a cover of Dirty Diana by Michael Jackson that I stumbled upon online.
Yeah.
And I listened to that and I was like, whoa, this guy is crazy. And it's kind of been weird to see him. And the same thing happened to Drake. They start out kind of independent, and that's part of their brand and like what they're going for. But then when they do that switch, they cross over and they're like commercial now.
If you don't,
hardcore.
If you don't make that transition smooth from like independent, I'm the underdog, root for me. Hey, everybody, look at me, like I'm the little guy here. If you don't have that transition, you can falter and you can just
started from the bottom now.
I would say relevant artist would be Mac Miller. He was one of the biggest independent artists up until this past year when he signed to a record label. And actually, Good AM, his album that just came out, did the least amount of sales compared to his past two albums.
Really? That's interesting.
So not to say he's losing momentum, and it's because of the record deal, but his album Good AM did sell, I want to say, about 80,000, whereas his first...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
His first album sold 150,000. And I think we're just talking like first week sales.
Right.
But initially, and I forget what Watching Movies with the Sound Off was, but I want to say it was right in between there. So it's just a gradual slope downward for him, unfortunately.
I was just going to say, I feel like if any album was like, okay, this is where he's like doing that transition, like Good AM was probably the one, because I really enjoyed Watching Movies.
Well, he was still independent when he made that album, yeah.
But
when I think independent, I think back in MySpace days, Hollywood Undead. They were the independent band. Because MySpace did something really cool that I wish would happen more. Is like they separated the three columns. It was like independent, majors, and minors, I think, labels. So like if you could search bands by label, and like that's how I would discover like independent bands. And like obviously Hollywood Undead was humongous because of MySpace.
Wow.
But they're awful, and they're like just.
Did you guys ever use Pure Volume way back in the day?
No.
For me, it was like MySpace and Pure Volume.
Huh. No, I never did.
For me, it was
that
MySpace.
Like pre-SoundCloud probably? SoundCloud's got to be pretty... It's fairly new. Like
in the past few years.
5 years or so?
Yeah. I'm talking about 5.
How do you consume your music, Daniel?
SoundCloud.
Really?
Right.
So you use the SoundCloud app?
It's King.
It's not King.
Overall.
No, it's the Apple Music app. I can just... Well, let's get into it.
Top of the charts, yeah.
Yeah, because new Wave Racer came out on SoundCloud. I'm like, oh, great. I really want to listen to it, but I don't like the sound. Like listening to SoundCloud, you can't make playlists, none of that. Well,
yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can, but you can't download directly to your phone. You have to stream everything, too.
You don't like that?
No, because I have T-Mobile, so I can't connect to the internet anywhere.
Ooh.
No. No, I like the physical aspect.
You use a lot of data that way.
That's like the way of like new media being physical is like being able to download it now, right?
Right. Yeah.
So like it's I don't know. I have to have the ability to make playlists. That's like another thing I do. I've been making monthly playlists for 4 or 5 years. Right. So I like to look back.
I need to do that more often because oftentimes in the car, every week I'll be playing the same like 5 songs.
Right.
I just need to put them in a playlist. So because first off, I'll get off my phone when I'm driving.
Right.
Second off, it saves me time too. And then I just boom. And I can go back, let's say in 2 years I want to hear what I was listening to
and it
on the
brings
34th
you back.
week of 2015.
When I was going through like all the problems that I was in Iowa City and like hating life out there and like left that semester, I was listening to Contra by Vampire Weekend, and it is my August and September playlist, just that album. Like 2011, and I like go back and like kind of makes you sad because you remember like, oh, that was a rough time in my life.
We were talking about this a
Yeah.
couple episodes ago.
Yeah, but it also like makes you feel like, oh, okay, I'm moving along quite nicely now.
There's definitely music and full albums for me that like always just instantly bring me back. Like, I don't know. Do you have anything like that, Daniel?
Yeah.
Like a specific album that just like every time you hear it, you're just like,
Frank Ocean, Channel.
Nice.
That album is so good.
It was interesting because I didn't listen to it when it came out, but it would always be in the background when I was at my friend's place. And then one day someone mentioned it to me. I was like, I still haven't heard that yet. I haven't listened to it yet. And I listened. I was like, I have been listening to this for like 2 years.
Like I've actually heard all this.
Yeah, it subconsciously like dripped in. And so now every time I hear it, I think about like college and hanging
those
out
times,
with my friends.
I was the same way with that album. I heard it, other people would play it. Justin Rung actually used to play this one song that on there that's like one of his favorites. But anyway, like I had the same example, and I always saw the album cover like on Pitchfork top albums of that year. And so finally, like a year or two later, I got into it. I was like, wow. I'm excited for. He's supposed to release a new album this year.
I was about to say, he's been delaying it. I would say I was on the same boat with you. Maybe not by 2 years. But I never got into him, and then I saw him live for like 30 minutes. And he was so good, I was like, well, maybe I'll just check him out. And ever since then, every now and then I'll play it. But really good.
Didn't he have some beef with Miguel earlier in this year?
Miguel said he made better music than him.
Yeah, which is so weird. It's like, is it because they're like in the exact same genre or like whatever?
Know.
That's so weird.
Where did you see Frank Ocean live at?
2012. Same time I saw The Weeknd.
Okay.
At LALA.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're like all about LALA and have been going except for the last year or two. Did you go last year?
No, this past year they kind of just recycled the artists because every 3 years at like huge festivals they kind of just use the same artists.
Yeah.
So this past year I really didn't want to go just because there was a lot of the artists that I actually had seen.
Right.
But they're all really good artists. You should go.
small tangent on LALA is the only time I've really had the chance to see Radiohead, one of my favorite bands. I've got the tattoo on my arm. Was LALA 2008. I was just about to turn 18, 17. And I wanted to go, but I have zero friends. It's like almost still now.
Don't have any.
Still don't have any. Well,
You over it.
He was agreeing with
no, I was saying I still don't have any friends that listen to Radiohead or even come close to like loving that band. Like would go to like Chicago or LALA just to see them. And they just like had Johnny Greenwood, who plays I think guitar in the band. He's just had like an interview with a Russian publication that got translated from English to Russian to English, so maybe it got a little mixed up. But anyway, what I'm getting at is they just announced that, hey, the album's done, LP9 for Radiohead, and they're supposed to be touring next year, so I'm expecting them to be hitting all these giant festivals.
I bet.
Like
Okay.
LALA 2016.
For someone like me who's never gotten into them, but after hearing you say you love them so much, give me an album or a project by them that I should start listening to.
Okay, so
I was going to say, good idea. I did the same thing with him and the Smiths, because I've always been a fan of the Smiths. The Smiths is kind of one of those like taboo type of bands where people are like, oh, just hipsters like the Smiths. But like I have been listening to him legitimately for like 10 years. So he was like, I've never really listened to the Smiths, and I was like, dude, they're such like an influential band for like the alt rock scene right now. Like you have to try to.
well,
listen
one
to
of
them.
my favorite bands, Balancing Composure, covered Big Mouth Strikes Again. I
Yeah.
love their cover, and then this is where like the Smiths, like it sucks because I went and checked out that version by the Smiths,
Right.
and I didn't like it at all. Like,
Well, there is like remastered versions, so you should probably listen to that. But I made him a playlist of like my favorite Smith songs. So
I totally
hopefully-
downloaded it to my phone so I can listen to it in the gym where I have like one bar and I can't connect to the Wi-Fi ever.
Yeah, but
Thanks
yeah,
a lot.
maybe he should do the same thing for you.
Okay, so Radiohead. When I first started, like, got into Radiohead, it was 2003, and I've always been huge into music videos. Like, I would stay up on summer nights just to watch music videos, like stay up all night on MTV, you know, when that was an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shout out to that. But I would stay up and I came across this music video for There by Radiohead, and it's like still one of my favorite songs of all time. But he's like Tom York, the lead singer, is just like walking like almost what's it called, like stutter?
Robotic?
No, like stutter, like
Stop
frame,
motion.
stop motion. It's like
Oh, okay.
almost it is stop motion, and which is amazing for 2003 for like real life stop motion. He's just walking through the forest and he's singing this awesome song. So that's off "Hail to the Thief," which is like they're from the UK for people that don't know, but it's like a gigantic middle finger to Bush in like starting the war.
Really?
Almost all the songs are about starting the Iraq war. Like in "Hail to the Thief" is Bush, like "Hail to Bush," like.
Oh, nice.
So I would say start with that because that's probably my. Well, it's hard to say. Like I said, they have 8 albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked you about
hard
this
to choose
at,
from.
Somerset too.
Yeah,
were trying to figure
but
it
when
out.
you asked me, I was a little inebriated, so I could barely form a sentence.
Right.
But probably "In Rainbows." That's the album that they broke the internet with.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, Tom York was on the cover of Rolling Stone. I used to have that poster, and I was like all about it because the headline for that article was Radiohead. Let me find it because I really don't want to mess this up because I really did like this Rolling Stone. Radiohead owns the internet or like broke the internet.
Okay. Well, you find that one thing we never got to was the new Waves album.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
V
yeah, we
or
kinda touched it a
5.
little
I
bit.
didn't really look into whether it's called V or 5, but yeah, quick while you're looking that up, I would give the new Waves album a solid 7,
So it's
6.5,
good.
6.5, 7 out of 10. Well,
okay to
when
good.
when I scale things out like this, I want to give it a 6 because I didn't like it that much, but 6 seems too low.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's
so
get
I'll
away
give it
from
a
the
7.
number and kind of get into like the material and the crux of it.
Yes.
Why would you give it a 6?
I'll rewind a few years. I got into Waves when I always get the names mixed up. I always confuse Plastic Beach by the Gorillaz with King of the Beach. But no, the album called King of the Beach, one of my all-time favorite albums, always been in my top 5 since it came out. Ever since then, they've been on my radar. And what I like about them is I use such bland adjectives, but they're really happy sounding if you just hear them in the background, but you listen to the lyricism and it's just depressing. Sad.
Yeah.
So I really like that because that's basically my life when I'm just like driving around. I was telling Nick earlier, I would say what describes them best. Do you know the song LDN by Lily Allen?
Lily Allen, I
Yeah.
love
Okay,
Lily
you know
Allen.
LDN?
I know.
Where she's like,
Smile.
the sun is in the sky, oh why, oh why.
Yeah, I know I've heard it.
oh,
Yeah.
Okay, so where she's talking about everything at a glance looks okay, and then you realize everything's just gone to shit. And that's the waves to me. So this new album, V5, whatever it's called, it's the same kind of material that they've been putting out, which I really like, but none of the tracks really stood out to me by any means. It just kind of sounded like recycled songs that they've been kind of just putting out.
Yeah. So you don't think they hit the ground like running with new material?
No.
Blah, blah, blah.
But it is still good material that I kind of like.
Okay, so getting back...
But yeah, what were you saying? There was a Rolling Stone article.
Yeah, Rolling Stone article, and the cover says the future belongs to Radiohead, because the Radiohead released In Rainbows, their 7th album, just gave it away for free on the internet, or pay for what you like. Radiohead.com, I believe, or their website is like whatever. But they gave away their album for free, or pay what you like, and like they ended up making more money because they had no record deal at that time. They had finished their record deal of like 6 albums. Yeah.
Okay.
So their 7th album, yeah, they released it, and I ended up paying like $10 for it back then just because I wanted to support that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't ever on, it didn't get on iTunes for a long time because they don't like big corporations. Like they're that band.
Right.
Like they get a lot of heat for it, like in BuzzFeed articles or whatever, calling them out for being like a little too like liberal, like whatever.
Yeah,
or left wing, is that what it is? Left
Right.
wing or whatever. Politics.
Weren't they supposed to? I read a rumor that they were gonna record the James Bond theme song.
Whoa!
But it's actually Sam Smith did it.
Okay.
So,
I might have. I think I heard something like that.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny Greenwood, who is the one that like had that interview with a Russian media outlet, he's been doing a lot of movie scoring. So I mean, it could have been just Johnny Greenwood.
Maybe.
Yeah. So listeners, if you haven't ever listened to anything by Radiohead, I probably will have to say In Rainbows, because you can't really go back to Hail to the Thief. It doesn't mean the same to you. Like that's why that album is so like important, because a lot of people were against the Iraq War for good reason. I mean, it almost ruined the country in some ways. I'm not going to get into it. I'm not like
go down this road.
See, politics, I'm not well versed, so you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on that. Like, I'll have things I want to say, but I never say them just because someone against my beliefs knows more about
Right,
and then what they believe than what I do, and I'll just be like, whatever, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
there's always
Time and place.
It's like the main like topic where there's always someone that knows more than you, and you just that's why you don't dive into it. Like there's almost nothing like
They're just
that.
gonna pull out dates and numbers and statistics. And
Yeah,
like, all right, I'm
there's so
out.
much, it's so dense.
You got me.
It's like reading,
whatever.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
Let's cap this segment off with Dan. Are you listening to anything recently that's come out last couple weeks, and even month or so? You said you kind of liked the Fetty Wap album that came out in September.
Fetty Wap album was pretty good. Not recently, man, to be honest. I haven't had any listens recently.
What are your top 3 artists that you usually play in the car or just top few artists?
What would you put on? Yeah, just
Usually I just turn on SoundCloud and let it run. Like I haven't been dedicated to any artist like for maybe like a year or so now, which is kind
you
of
got
sad
me into Tycho.
Yeah, Tycho's
Electric Force
great,
2014.
man.
You're talking them up. It's like at the same time as some other band, but I'm just like, no, let's stay with our crew. We see Tycho. Oh my God.
They're great.
Awake, right? That album is unreal. And they had one of the best live shows.
You can just tune out and turn that on.
Right.
Oh,
I play it at work all the time when I just want to focus.
Oh yeah.
They didn't really have like the monumental light shows they did at Somerset, so it was kind of a bummer. But they still had a good set. It was during the daytime too, yeah. But Tycho's associate
great.
you with a good, fine taste in music because of that.
Tycho's really good. I haven't found anything in a while though. I've been kind of tuned out.
Yeah, for sure.
I do the same thing as you were saying, kind of though. I follow a bunch of artists, so I just go to the homepage and hit play, and it just runs through all the stuff that artists I follow have shared or new music. So I do kind of the same thing.
Yeah, so let's cap this awesome music segment where we just kind of went all over the place. But the Wave Racer EP is on Apple Music now, and that's what I was going to say. So let's go back a little bit back in time. That's why I like to use Apple Music. Everything's coming onto it. Like, there's almost, like, what's going to be on Tidal only, you know?
Right.
Or
Nobody uses Tidal.
Well, yeah. And there's like a funny article I saw where Jay-Z was like doing some tax stuff, and he like forgot he owned Tidal. Like, he forgot to claim Tidal or something. Like, So, come on, Jay-Z.
Just because we mentioned it real quick, my job, like, I dispute charges on credit cards. There has actually been a lot of, like, quote-unquote fraudulent charges from Tidal Hi-Fi on people's cards. Like, there'll be, like, $100 charge on people's cards for Tidal Hi-Fi, and they have no idea why.
Are you supposed to be able to talk about this?
Sort of. And like, there's no legitimate reason why someone would have a $100 charge from Tidal on their card, because it's only like $12 or $20 a month.
I think it's like almost 30s.
And they don't do like it. I looked it up, and they don't really do like a yearly fee either, which would make sense. But it would be more than that. So like, it's really strange. I don't know.
Conspiracies, man.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's trying to save money.
Well, Jay-Z's part of the Illuminati, so it just makes sense. If
Right.
he's doing shit like that.
Thank you for listening to episode 15 of the EZPZ podcast. I am your host, Shaun Johnson. You can find me at Shaun S. Johnson on Twitter, Instagram. No, I'm not going to go any farther. Nick, where can they find you?
Bazooka X Nick, and on Instagram and Twitter, and Nick Gandy Art on Facebook.
Cool. Yeah, you can find the podcast at the EZPZ podcast at gmail.com. Send us some questions. Send us some, if you didn't like this scatterbrained episode, shoot us some hate mail. And I don't care. I'll like it. I'll enjoy it. Daniel, where can they find you?
You can find me at DANIYEL Turner TURNER at Twitter.
The most
and
unique
Instagram.
spelling of Daniel I've ever seen.
I get any domain I want, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Your mom was like on. You were talking about this last night. She like knew the internet was gonna be a thing, and having like being able to claim your name was a big deal.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna put this Y in the middle.
Yeah.
Just add an extra vowel. Fuck it, whatever.
Again, that's DANIYEL Turner. Yeah, show him some love. He's like one of my best friends. He's one of the coolest people in the entire world. We're happy you're back from the coast. We're about to reconvene, hopefully, Denver, New Year's Eve, Decadence 2015. Last and probably final festival for a bit, at least. But anyway, where can they find you, Dan?
Find me in the real world.
Stealth Mode Dan!